This is the Lyndsay Stafford Show.
Welcome back to the Lyndsay Stafford Show, where we're featuring local legends here in Middle Tennessee. And we talk to entrepreneurs, business owners that are right here in Middle Tennessee. They share their stories, their ups, their downs, their challenges, things that will help an aspiring entrepreneur. And they tell all, so we get to hear some interesting things. Today, I am here with my friend Jill Hudson. She is the owner and founder of Big Bend Insurance, and she also is the founder of Rise Women, which is a women's networking event or a women's networking group. So, see, I told you, if I had to say both, I was going to mess one of them up, right? But you're worth saying them both. Jill, thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here.
And I think we met through the chamber, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
I think at one of maybe the Tri-Chamber events.
Oh gosh, who knows?
Something like that. I don't know.
But we became friends through that.
Yep.
And I'm so happy to have you here. I know a little bit about your journey, and we can kind of focus on Big Bend. And I definitely want you to share Rise because I love what you're doing with Rise. But I'd like you to just share a little bit about what you do at Big Bend Insurance.
Yep. So I'm the owner of Big Bend Insurance Group. So we're an independent insurance agency. Basically means we just shop multiple different carriers for insurance. So home, auto, business insurance, life insurance. I got my start in insurance back in 2005. But when I moved to Nashville in 2014, that's when I decided to make insurance a career. Not a lot of people, jump at the opportunity for that, but it has just been an amazing experience. I've done everything on the insurance side. I've done account management. I started out as an admin here in Nashville. I was the director of operations for that company. And then I was also their top agent in sales. So at the end of the day, there was no option of partnering, no other avenues to move up. So I decided to start it on my own.
I love it. And when you reach that cap of okay, I've learned everything, I've done everything, and I'm limited because there are people telling me what I can and can't do. I work for somebody else.
Yes. You
made the decision to go on your own, which I know was scary because it's always scary.
Terrifying. Yeah.
Terrifying. Talk to us about what that conversation, because you've got young kids.
Yes.
Married with young kids, and there was a big change for your family. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it started January 1st of 2021. I got a call at 6 o'clock in the morning that my old neighbor's house burned down to the ground. And so that was, we were friends, and, I was just like, okay, I've got to go out there. I've got to help them. So I went to Walgreens, bought every toiletry in the room. I got money out of my bank account. I arrived at their house, and it was a total loss. I have never seen a house fire like that before. I actually got to go in the house and see it and take pictures. It was devastating. If they were sleeping upstairs, they probably would have died. So that was just an extremely emotional experience for me. And so I gave a quick call to, the company that they were insured with at the time, and they were not going to send a claims person out there because it was a holiday. And, it was kind of like, okay, well, we have it, we know what's happening. The fire department's there, we'll wait for the next day. They'll come out, they'll assess, they'll go from there. And that just floored me. I don't understand how you cannot be there for someone, especially when they've experienced a total loss. So, and not to say that there was anything wrong with that insurance company, but that's just kind of the way claims are handled, right? Especially on the agency side, right? We report the claim, we can give advice, but at the end of the day, it's the insurance company and their claims adjuster that comes in and helps. So it rubbed me the wrong way from the start. 2 weeks later, I was at my nephew's birthday party, and a family friend was there, and he was a district sales manager of Erie Insurance, and we just got to chat, and he's like, you ever thought about starting your own agency? Like, oh, haha, no, I couldn't do that. He's like, no, I'm serious. I really think that you would be excellent at it. I slept on it for about a week. I called him back the next day, and I was like, you know what? From what I just experienced with this house fire, I'm ready to go. I want to change the way that insurance agencies handle claims. I want to change the way that customer service is handled. Just, we need to be kind and caring to our neighbors and the people around us. God put us on this planet to help others. So that is why I started it, to help others.
I love your story.
Thank you.
That's so devastating. How's your friend?
They're fine. The great thing about when your home burns down is that you do get it replaced brand new. If you are properly insured and you have the right coverages, yep, you do get everything replaced and brand new.
What a journey to go through, though, right?
Yeah.
And I shared this a lot. Somebody asked me the other day, what what makes it working with you for marketing and advertising different than, this other company? I said, well, the first thing is it's me. You're not dealing with a 1-800 number or a rep that's out of a different state. It's me. I care about you as a person. I'm not interested in a transaction. I want a relationship. And that's right here. And it's funny, the more people I have as a guest on my show, the more that theme is woven in. And I always feel great about the people I invite here because I invite you for a reason. And I love that that's coming out right here in the beginning, just the care. So the challenge, so when you decided to start, how did that impact your family life? Like, talk to me about that, because people see where you are now and they assume whatever they assume. You're successful to this degree, whatever it is, they see you here, but they don't see the valley that went on. And honestly, the first few years of business, it's probably still going on. And even 10 years in business, it's just different, but it's still going on in a different way.
Yeah. I feel like I'm coming out of the valley in the past couple months. It is 3 years this November that I've been in business.
You said at 3-year mark.
Yeah, that 3-year mark is a game changer. Stick with it. Like, any advice for any business owner?
Yes, please share. Always share.
3 years. Stick with it 3 years. Don't give up, because it will all of a sudden, like, it will just change. Like, you'll just start, all that hard work will start paying off. And, I'm married. My kids are 11 and 7, and, they're young, and I knew 3 years ago, like, okay, I'm about to start doing 80 to 100 hour work weeks. I know that every waking minute is going to be poured into this business. So I have to make some decisions. Like, I'm not going to be able to go to every single event for my kids. I'm not going to be able to pick them up from school. I might not be able to see them off to school. You're missing huge milestones and huge years, but the payoff in the long run is huge, because now at this point, like, I have that work-life balance. Like, it all kind of intermingles, right? Like, sometimes does work take a little bit more? Sometimes does family take a little bit more? Of course, but it's all intertwined, and I'm the owner. So I can go and decide I'm going to go see this event and do this with my children and do this. And I have employees and help in place now that I can go and do that, which is phenomenal. So I knew going into it, it was a long road ahead. And also financially, right? I left being the top agent at this agency. I had an enormous book of business. I had a huge referral source base. And I decided to leave, like, okay, goodbye income. So, you go from making over 6 figures to making 30 grand your first year. That's a big punch. Like,
that's a little different.
That's a little different, right? And like, we live in Williamson County. So it's like, okay, I did not take out a small business loan. I did it all from savings that I had prior there. And just literally like rice and beans, like, I was like, okay, I know that we used to go out to eat, but we're not doing that anymore.
We're going to figure 17 ways to eat rice and beans.
Exactly.
What does it taste like with salt?
I know.
Paprika.
A little bit of Tabasco,
garlic,
right? Yes.
No, I want to talk about, which, thank you for sharing the vulnerability of this, because I really do think when there's 2 different versions of what people see in business owners. They see somebody that owns a business and they either automatically assume they're super successful, they've got it all going on, or maybe they don't have a great impression and they think otherwise. But the reality is there's a journey to get to that place where you have the flexibility. And to me, I always say time is our most precious commodity. You never get it back. So when somebody gives me their time, I'm extremely grateful for sharing in their time. And I feel that way about me. I'm very, very filtered with how I will spend my time. And that's intentional, both with in person, on, anything I'm doing. And when you share that you knew you were going to walk into these extremely draining weeks and days, and you had to acknowledge, I'm going to miss things that I'm not going to be happy that I had to miss. That is hard. Yeah. And especially for women, it's very challenging because sorry, men, you're awesome, but you did not birth a baby. When you're a mom and you've birthed a child, there's a difference of having to give up that time. I remember distinctly when I was working a full-time job, building a business on the side, which eventually turned into 2 businesses on the side. And I did walk away. But I remember the days were so long. I would work on my business before I went to my job. I would work on my business at lunchtime. I would work on my business after work. I would work on my business after the kids went to school. My husband's like, you would fall asleep like literally with your phone in your hand. I wasn't scrolling. I was working. Yeah. And those days, I remember looking at my son one night after dinner, and he was young, much younger than he must have been like 7. And he was sitting on the couch and, I just want to like snuggle and like just be with him while he'd still let me. And I couldn't. I had clients I had to go talk to. And I remember looking at him and the tears in my eyes, not his, because they're resilient. But I remember saying, I promise it won't be like this forever. I promise.
Yes.
And
I have said that.
There is so much power because it does. It gets better. On the other side, I look at fast forward now, and I guarantee if I asked Ben and Isabel, would you be okay? Would you do it again? Have mom miss the things that I missed in those years to be able to be present the way that I am now and provide a life that we have now? I guarantee they both would say yes. Now, Isabel might be like, I kind of miss that you were here. She was a little older, so she remembers it a little bit more. But the work is worth it. The journey is worth it. But you have to acknowledge what you're giving up because you aren't going to be able to do it all.
Yeah.
How did you work through that with your family? Talk about the communication with family because that is critical. And obviously, I know your husband is super supportive. We've had that conversation.
Yeah.
But sometimes people they don't have a supportive partner in the journey. But how did you guys establish what that was going to look like for mom to go out and build a business and not be home and present for everything?
My husband really helps so much with everything. My mother-in-law lives here in town too. She helps a lot with the kids. So that's phenomenal. If I didn't have that stronghold, I don't know if I would have actually been able to do it because there's just not enough hours in the day. I would have just had to get help from somewhere else. Right. Man, like the kids and just not being able to like be there for everything really does, like as a mom, like it completely like
it wrecks you.
It destroys you. But at the end of the day, like I am teaching them how to be entrepreneurs. I am teaching them how to be strong. I am teaching them how to be resilient. I am showing them that women can be just as strong as a man can be, and we can get out there and do it. So it's huge. My son now at this point, like never misses the opportunity to tell anyone that my mom runs her own business. My mom's the owner of her own company. And I'm like, thank you. I was like, let mom be a little humble. Like, let's not tell everybody.
I know, but they're so
it's
proud.
So sweet. Like it's so sweet. And, I just want people to know, like, and especially my kids to know, like, be strong, get out there, take chances. You must do the things you cannot do. That's Eleanor Roosevelt. Like, you have to. And that's like my mom taught me that. And that's what I'm doing now.
And you're doing it. And I know your daughter already said she wants to be in the business.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's taking over mom's business. Yeah. And I'm like, mom might sell it down the line. I don't know.
Who knows if I'm going to not give it up, right? I might just be here. Yeah, that's amazing. And the journey is it's so hard to give up what you want now for what you want more.
Yes.
You have to be disciplined. And it really, when it pulls on your heartstrings, and it's not just like the internal desire to just not do the work, but it's actually like my heart hurts to not be doing this other thing. And I know I need to do this because it's what's going to get me where I need to be.
Yeah.
It's hard. And you have to develop a resilience and put your blinders on and just focus on what you're doing. So for someone who gave up what you gave up, and I did the same, right? And took a chance on yourself, and you've done it. First of all, great job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And second of all, what advice would you tell somebody that's in that boat?
Be patient. Your timeline for when things are going to happen in your business is not going to happen how you plan it. And that's okay. It's not going to happen all at once. It's about the building blocks that you set in place. Get your processes down. Day one, get stuff on paper. I don't care if it's, you're in the shower and you're like, my goal is to call 30 different potential new clients this week. Whatever it is that you're wanting to do, literally get it on paper. And it's from everything you do. I sat there on day one of my company in front of my computer, like, so it's day one. What do I
have to do today?
So I got my Word document. And I was like, turn on computer, open up Gmail. And I was like, okay, this is literally the steps I'm going to be taking throughout the day. And then it just kind of builds on itself. Like, it doesn't need to be perfect. Just get it down on paper. Read the book Traction by Gino Wickman. That will help you immensely if you need any sort of help with, any visionary standpoints or processes or just, how you should start, scaling your business. Like, I highly recommend it. That helped me a lot when I first started.
I know you're an avid reader and personal and professional growth kind of guru. I'm the same. So I haven't read that one. I'll have to read it. Thank you for the recommendation. I feel like I'm always saying, I read this book, but I love hearing others. And you shared something unique with me, not today, but that you were intent on having processes, but SOPs in place for everything you did.
Everything.
And you had this big vision of, I'm going to scale this because I know that you're only here right now, but I also know you're going to expand because we've had that conversation. And so in order to do that, you had to start with the end in mind.
Yes.
Because a lot of businesses start and they don't put systems and SOPs in place. And so then what happens is they try to go to the next thing or try to move it to something else and they can't.
Yeah.
Or they don't have a system ready to go. And you did that. What made you decide that you were going to do that? How did you know?
Well, coming from a director of operations standpoint, I did the back of the house and the front of the house, I like to say, because I came from the service industry. I served tables for 15 years. And so that's kind of just the lingo with that. But, just knowing that you have it written down in place in front of you and knowing that you can come back and change it. It's not going to be perfect. As you grow, as things change, you're going to come in and you're going to change all those processes. At this point today, I have a document, a video, a spreadsheet, a checklist for every single thing we have in place with customer service, with sales. If you want to grow a big business and not having to be working in your business all the time, you have to have that in place. Because if you hire people, you also want to know, are they doing the things that you've asked them to do? If they have no direction, you're not going to be able to track what they're doing. Right. So you have to have that in place. And that's just something I really started on day one. And it has been a long journey for that. And, just the other day, I had to add a little bit into some documents we did, but every single day it is changing.
Of course.
And growing.
But but we've talked about this on my show in the past, the desire to maintain control as a business owner.
Yes.
And what you're sharing gives you the ability to let go of control, but still have control. You're going to do it, but you're going to do it the way I tell you to do it. And so you've been able to scale in ways that a lot of business owners can't. They get stuck and they can't move past me being the executor because there's just so many things that they need to show or teach somebody. So I love your advice of start with the end in mind. You didn't say that, but that is what you did.
Yeah.
Is start with the end in mind and build the procedures out, document it, put it on paper so you know exactly what you need to do so you can teach somebody else what to do.
Yeah. You want to have something to show them to be able to teach them. I just remember when I used to hire people all the time when I was in the operations role, I would always ask people, why are you looking to leave your current position? And they'd say, there's no training. There's no processes. I don't know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And so have that in place. Record every training session you have with your employees. Record yourself when you're talking to clients. Take the time to listen and to do that. And again, even if you think that you have 5 bullet points on there and you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing. It's not in place. You do. You started it.
You have a starting point.
You'll grow it.
Yeah.
It'll as you add more things, it'll grow. My goal for Big Bend Insurance Group is to be in 7 different states over the next 20 years and have 115 employees. I am not going to be able to do that without processes in place. So the next 3 years is building out Tennessee. 16 employees, fully runs an office. And so I want to take that, implement it in Tennessee, and then move it to the other states.
And you just said that in front of everybody. So now there's accountability, right?
Now I'm happy, right?
Now there's accountability. Well, I know, we're at the end of our time together and I want to be respectful of time, but I also, can you give us a quick recap of what Rise Women is? Because it's a heart project that you started.
Yeah. I love networking. I love getting out there in the community. If you want to grow your business, get out there. Mm-hmm. That's what you have to do. It's all about who you know, honestly. Yeah. But I love doing it. And so I started adding up how much it would cost for all the different networking groups that I wanted to do. And it was $10,000. And, I told you I didn't take out a small business loan and
you took a giant pay cut.
I went through my savings and it's okay, well, what do we do? I was like, I can't afford that. I was like, all right, I'm going to start something on my own. So my husband goes to this little Men of Business thing that he goes to. And I'm like, you know what? You go to your thing. I'm going to do my own women's thing. So Rise Women's Society meets every second Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. at Reunion Wine Bar in Spring Hill. It is open to all professional women of business. We do a featured business. We do a community spotlight. I give out the contact list. So if you didn't get a chance to mix and mingle with everyone, you have everyone's information. We do a nice giveaway from the featured business. And at this point, it's been going on a little over a year, and I'm really starting to hear the wonderful feedback from all the women. I feel uplifted. I feel empowered when I'm here. I've met so many contacts. You've helped me grow my business, and it's free to attend. I pull all the featured business and the community spotlight from the women who attend, and we do social media and everything to promote them and to try to give back to them. It is a phenomenal group of ladies. It is always changing. It's not the same ones. There's no membership. So if you don't have any money and you need to start your business and you don't know what to do, come to the event. You can drink a water while you're there and then just meet a whole group of ladies that will help make you feel empowered and strong and support you in your journey.
Such a true entrepreneur where you saw a need and were like, I'm just going to fill the need myself.
Just do it.
And it's amazing. I'm so grateful that we connected when we did. And I love getting all of the information about Rise. So where can people find you, Jill?
So for Big Bend Insurance Group, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Big Bend Insurance Group, Instagram's Big Bend Insurance Group TN. And then Rise Women's Society is only on Instagram, and it's just Rise Women's Society.
Okay. And we'll link everything in the show notes.
Yeah.
But if you are a business owner here in Middle Tennessee, or maybe you're not, you're just aspiring to be a business owner, come to the Rise events, meet Jill, meet the people that are there, and get some networking in. Jill, thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much
I'm
for
so
having me.
excited to be a part of the journey and hear you share your trials and tribulations and successes. And it's just a great story. Thanks for listening to the Lyndsay Stafford Show featuring local legends here in Middle Tennessee. This has been a time with Jill Hudson, the owner of Big Bend Insurance and Rise Women's Society. Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the things, rate, just all of it.